We're going to be covering the second half of Probe this afternoon, and with me on the show this afternoon is Doug Padilla. He's also an Olympic hopeful, and he's going to be competing in the events this summer also, depending on how the races go, right? Depending on how the qualifying meets go.
Right.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about whatever made you get into running? How did you ever think of something like that?
Well, growing up, I was always very small. When I was a freshman in high school, I was a big 4'11". A number of girls were taller than me, in fact, most of them. I've always enjoyed sports, but was never able to really be very competitive in many of them. And I had an opportunity to do some competing in, very low-key competing in junior high school and track, and just kind of took on that extension in high school and kept going from there.
Okay, so now from high school, you've gone into the college, and you've performed well here at Brigham Young University, right?
Right.
Okay, now your goal is the Olympics, of course.
Right, That's
okay.
The ultimate goal in track and field. The highest honor that can be earned is an Olympic gold medal.
That's right. Now, how do you, in the steps towards progressing towards the Olympics, what is it that you have to qualify for, or how do these qualifying meets run?
Well, the U.S. has so many good athletes in it, in order to, or in an effort to try and keep the opinions out so that it's equal for, an equal opportunity for everyone. What they do is they stay within a year of the Olympics. Each athlete who wants to qualify for a meet called the trials, the Olympic trials, has to equal or better a qualifying standard. And those that do go to the trials, which is in essence a mock of the Olympics. They have the same time schedule and everything to try and simulate that. And then the top 3 athletes in the finals of each event are the ones that make the Olympic team.
Okay. And so those qualifying meets are held when? Are they
Okay, the Olympic trials is the 3rd week of June. The events I would be in would be the 5,000 meters, and I think that's the 21st, 22nd, and 24th of June.
And so you get into the 5,000 meters, how long is that? I'm not...
That's 3 miles, 188 yards, so about 3.1 miles.
Okay. I'm not from Canada, and I know they go by the metric system there, but do you run the marathon at all? You don't, or...
A marathon's an awful long ways, and I've never ventured that far.
Neither have I. I probably never will either. But when you get into the Olympic hopeful and the team there, what is it that keeps you going? As far as, do you have sponsors? Do you have funding from the United States Olympic team, sponsored by M&M's or Coke, or what is it? The usual thing.
I'm not exactly sure how it works with the Olympic Committee. The Olympic Committee has to cover every sport. Track and field, soccer, swimming, gymnastics, all the way around. The governing body for track and field, the Athletics Congress, has worked some funding programs to allow us to handle the training expenses and living expenses while we are training. And, but most importantly, I've been working with Nike, the Nike shoe company. They sponsor a club called Athletics West, of which I'm a member, and they've given me a consultantship on the with the shoe company in shoe development and things of that sort, which has helped me to be able to afford to continue to train.
Okay, it's good, it's good. Now, how does your family feel about this? How does your parents and your brothers and sisters, they accept it well, I imagine?
Yeah. My parents are very supportive of me. I don't know that they would, if I decided that I was tired of track and field, I don't know that they would have encouraged me to stay with it, so to speak. There's always the need for developing your personal field, your vocation, continuing your studies, things like that. But I've been successful and have enjoyed track very much, and they've been a very big support. They've driven to LA a number of times, go over to San Francisco for meets when I have them there, and they've been a very good support. It's been great for me.
Well, good. Now, at this time, you don't run for BYU, right?
No, I've used my eligibility. You only have 4 years in which you can compete for your college.
Okay, so during that time when you did compete with BYU, what were the standings there and your ranks there?
How was I ranked?
Yes.
Well, I made All-American on 8 different occasions at BYU. I was a national champion once in the indoor 2-mile. My best outdoor finish in outdoor track was a 4th place in the 5,000 meters my senior year in 1981, and a 4th place in the 1,500 meters. I attempted a double and perhaps shouldn't have. Should have stayed with one event.
Okay, so your Olympic desire, of course, you feel it's going to be reached when you look at that?
I hope so. I've improved a lot since I was in college. Let's see, in the national championships outdoors, at the TAC National Championship, which includes collegiates and post-collegiates, that year I was 5th In '82, I finished third in the 5,000 meters. Last year, I won the national championship. So each year, I've improved gradually. Last year, I was the top American. A couple Americans came really close, but I was able to stay in front of them. If things go well and I can improve, I should be the top American this year. So I feel I have a good shot if I can keep things moving in the right direction.
That's super. That's super. I wish you all the best luck, of course. But when we go on to the... Where are you from, by the way, anyways?
I'm from California.
From California. And so you're familiar with Los Angeles and the area there?
I'm from Northern California, but yeah, I'm familiar with much of Los Angeles.
Okay. So you know where you're going to be competing at?
Yes.
All right. Well, great. Now, what is your... what do you prefer, indoor or outdoor track? Or?
Oh, there are advantages to both. Outdoor track carries more prestige. It's considered a more important sport as far as the international is concerned. But indoor has some special appeal. Indoor track, being that it's run indoors on a smaller track, the crowd's much closer to you, and there's kind of more of a rapport that exists there. Also, I don't know, I guess due to the makeup of my stride, I feel a little more comfortable on an indoor track than other people do, and that tends to give me a bit of an advantage.
Okay.
But outdoors where all the marbles are, so to speak.
All right. Well, we're going to be right back with you, Doug, and talking with you about the Olympic hopeful and so forth. We're going to return in just a moment, right back with Probe.
What do we need here?
Doug Padilla, he is an Olympic hopeful for this Summer Games in Los Angeles. Now, Doug, we were discussing the terms of indoor-outdoor track, and you say you prefer the indoor because... is that what you said? The indoor, of course.
Indoor's fun.
Because of the crowds and so forth. But when we discuss the outdoor, does the smog or the air have anything to do with it?
The biggest effect would be the wind. Wind tends to be a detriment to your time. It hurts you more going into it than it helps you going with the wind. The only other real difference is the size of the track. You have 4 laps per mile, where indoors you have 10 or 11 laps per mile. And each turn tends to slow you down, so you're able to get better times outdoors.
Okay. When we discuss international travel, have you had any meets and international meets as far as competing against other nations and your travel abroad or anything like that?
Yeah, I have. I've been privileged to compete a number of times internationally representing the United States, which is quite a thrill. It's a good opportunity to represent your home country. In 1981, my first experience was running against the Russians. We traveled to Leningrad and had a dual meet with the Russians there, and that was a good experience. I made a mistake, and I feel like I could have won the race, but moved a little too soon and died.
What was that mistake? Was it?
I moved with 500 meters to go instead of 300 meters to go. In 1982, we ran against the Russians in Indianapolis. It was nice to do it in this country. And that time I hung on and beat the best Russian. I can't remember his name now. That's always been a good experience. The biggest, I guess, the most prestigious international competition I've been in would have been last August in Helsinki, Finland, where they held the first World Championships of track and field. And that was good for me. It gave me an experience as to what the Olympics will be like. There's a lot of pressure involved, getting through the qualifying rounds, running against the top-class competition, best in the world there. I finished 5th there. It went quite well. I got through the 2 qualifying rounds to make it to the final. Some of the other Americans, I believe, could have if they'd been maybe a little more experienced. They came close. That was a good experience for me running there.
Well, good. Now, the Olympics, when you compare your age with the other Olympic hopefuls and so forth, how do you rank in that standing? Are they, I'm not even sure how old are you? What is
I'm
your
27.
You're 27?
I'm pretty close to the age of the other. My biggest competition, or the toughest threat in the 5,000 meters would be Eamon Coughlin. I think Eamon's just turning 30, and they consider him starting to be pushing the upper limit of the, as far as his age goes.
Right.
Though I'm 27, I feel like I physically am younger than that. It seems like I've always been behind everyone else physically, so I figure that I still have, well, quite a few good years of running. I'm just starting to come into my own, feel a little bit of confidence in competing internationally against some of the big people.
So you don't feel burdened by the old age?
No, I don't think so. Not at all.
I can't say it's old age because me, myself, I'm about the same.
Yeah.
But so, all right, well, what else can you tell us about the Olympics that really gives you the desire to keep going for it?
Well, this Summer Olympics is going to be great. We missed the Olympics in 1980 due to a boycott of one of our political leaders.
Did you have a chance to make it in the 1980 Olympics?
No, I finished 8th in the trials. I didn't have a real good race. I think I could have been a little better. It's been awful rough for me to make the team there, top 3, but No, I didn't have that opportunity, so I wasn't affected quite as much as the others. But what I think did happen is the U.S. Missed the opportunity of watching their athletes compete in the Olympics, the ultimate in track and field. That's the most prestigious competition. And so track seemed to have gone a little lower. It didn't give quite the following in the public eye. Where here, competing in Los Angeles, in the U.S., having the Olympics here, everybody's aware that the Olympics are going on, and they're all pulling for our athletes, so to speak. So I can feel a little more support, a little more attention in that, and that puts a little more pressure, but that's good. And hopefully
That's
pushes.
great, you know, because the United States itself, I can see the reaction of the enthusiasm that they bring in because the Olympics are held in Los Angeles, because the Summer Games are there and so forth.
Right.
What countries have you traveled to that you've competed in?
Oh, let's see. The most memorable, I guess, would have been the Soviet Union.
The Soviet, right?
2 years ago, I had an opportunity to compete in East Germany in a dual meet there. We competed in the World University Games in 1981 in Romania, and that was an experience. Run meets in Canada, in England, Scandinavia. West Germany is a lot of fun.
Super, super.
Switzerland is nice.
I bet it is.